Another episode of Explained with me. 9 people have tragically lost their lives and at least 25 others have been injured in shootings at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School and a nearby home in Canada's province of British Columbia. 6 victims were reportedly found dead inside the school, with a 7th dying on the way to the hospital. 2 additional victims were discovered at a nearby residence. The alleged suspect was found dead at the school from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now, as we mentioned, that at least 25 others were injured, many of who are getting treated for non-life-threatening injuries, while 2 others have been airlifted with serious injuries. Both the secondary and elementary schools have been secured, though they will remain closed for the rest of the week. Authorities are still working to understand the full scope of the situation. While police believe there could be a link between the attacks at the school and the nearby residence, they have not confirmed this connection yet. The identities and ages of the victims have not been released. We are also waiting for updates on whether the number of victims could rise as authorities continue to search nearby residences. It is also unclear if that search has concluded. As for the suspect, police are still withholding details about their identity and their connection to the school. Authorities have so far confirmed they know who the suspect is, but no further information has been made public. In an earlier news conference, RCMP North District Commander-Chief Superintendent Ken Floyd mentioned that the suspect described in an earlier alert as a female in a dress with brown hair is the same person who was found dead at the school. Let's now look at the statements from local and national leaders. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney has expressed his devastation over the tragic events in Tumbler Ridge. He has extended his condolences to the families and friends affected by the horrific violence, sharing that his thoughts are with those whose lives have been irreversibly changed. Carney says that he has been in close contact with British Columbia Premier David Eby and other local officials to ensure the community receives the necessary support during this difficult time. Moreover, in a significant move, Carney has suspended his planned trip to Germany for the Munich Security Conference. The conference, which is set to host over 60 heads of state, was meant to cover topics like artificial intelligence, supply chains and support for Ukraine and NATO. Let's now turn to what the local provincial officials have said. British Columbia Premier David Eby has described the tragedy as quote-unquote devastating and unimaginable, acknowledging that no one can truly understand what the Tumbler Ridge community is going through. While the RCMP has not yet released the identity of the suspect shooter yet, Eby has urged patience, emphasising that the focus must now be on supporting the victims' families and community in Tumbler Ridge. Let's listen in to some of the statements.
This is a devastating and unimaginable tragedy. We can't imagine what the community is going through, but I know it's causing us all to hug our kids a little bit tighter tonight. Here's the latest information that we have. I understand that there are 10 people in total who are dead, 2 different sites. 8 of the people who died as a result of the shootings were at the school, including an individual we understand is the suspected shooter, who is believed to have died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. There are about 25 people who have been triaged by health authorities with various physical injuries, some profoundly serious, and some more minor injuries. Right now, information is very limited as police do their work, and the RCMP has asked for patience as they work through methodically to ensure that they are supporting families and getting to the bottom of what happened today.
In a similar vein, British Columbia's Minister of Public Safety, Nina Krieger, has shared that the Education Minister has been in contact with the school district and that trauma-informed counsellors will be sent to the region to support the affected families. Let's listen in to her statements.
While the RCMP emergency alert has been lifted, the people of Tumbler Ridge remain in a state of crisis following one of the worst mass shootings in our province's and country's history. This is a devastating day for a close-knit community, and the loss being felt is profound. Education ministry staff have been in continued contact with the school district today, and we are actively mobilizing trauma and crisis response supports. We are sending trauma-informed counselors to the region to support kids and their families during this time. The school district will be making supports available, and once we have locations for where these supports will be, the district will share that information on social media.
A local journalist in Tumbler Ridge, Trent Ernst, was on the ground as events unfolded. He has described seeing emergency service vehicles blocking roads around Tumbler Ridge Secondary School after the shooting. Ernst has also added that he received the active shooter alert on his phone, which has since been cancelled. He began live streaming the scene right the shooting happened. During that time, he heard reports of more areas in the downtown being shut down. Let's listen in to his comments from the live stream.
The roads are being blocked off. You can see district employees blocking off this road. And other than that, there is no information. I talked to a concerned parent who's here waiting. He got a call from his son who is sheltering in place in the gym. And he's just waiting to hear from his other kid and is quite rightly nervous. There is a report of active shooter at the school, or again, I need to be sure that I phrase this properly. There's reports of people with a gun. I haven't heard any reports of gunshots, but all I've got really is the alert that went out just after I arrived on scene, which said that there's a suspected person with a gun, described as female, brown hair, and wearing a dress.
The tragedy in Tumbler Ridge has sparked an outpouring of support from world leaders. French President Emmanuel Macron expressed his solidarity with the Canadian people, stating that, quote, horror has struck a school in Tumbler Ridge, Canada. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has also shared his shock over the attack, sending sincere condolences to all Canadians affected by the horrific event. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz described himself as deeply shaken by the news, while Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed his hope for a quick recovery for those injured in the attack. Now, if we turn to Canada's gun laws, it has some of the strictest gun laws in the world, with gun ownership regulated primarily by the national government. Under the Firearms Act, firearms must be kept locked and unloaded, and anyone looking to purchase a gun must undergo thorough background checks. Since 2022, Canada has had a national freeze on private ownership of all short-barreled firearms, a move that is aimed at further controlling access to more dangerous weapons. However, gun ownership is still prevalent, particularly in rural areas, where firearms are often used for hunting or personal protection. According to Canada's Department of Justice, British Columbia, the province where Tumbler Ridge is located, has the highest rate of handgun ownership in the country. That's all we have time for this episode of Xplained. Stay tuned as we bring you more in-depth insights and stories that matter.